Finally, we're here. We've got an 8-part series. We're going to document start to finish Marine Drive, Margate Seafront. We're taking the front of the building off, we're rebuilding it. We're reinstating bathrooms, kitchens on 3 flats across 2 floors. Sign up, subscribe, and like. I have to call you back. Yeah. Come on, let's go inside. Hello, my name's James. I'm a director at Coast Projects. Coast Projects is a construction company based in Thanet, in Kent. We undertake architecturally driven and architecturally led building projects, usually in a period home. We are approached by architects or homeowners that have a period home and they're looking to expand the existing footprint, but with some fun ideas rather than building a standard box on the back of your house. This year we want to offer customers something which no one else does in the area. So we're going to go for chartership, CIOB. We've submitted our application, paid the required memberships, and now we're going through the process of becoming chartered. So we will be, I think there's one other company locally to us, which is CIOB, which I think is a really cool step in the right direction. It shows customers that we're serious about what we do, we have integrity, we're professional, and you're in safe hands. So today we are at Marine Drive, which is a large project of ours on Margate Seafront.
That is a seafront?
It is indeed. There are amusements over there.
Let me just, over there. But we're on
Motion detection.
Yeah,
doesn't
so
work.
Seafront.
Anyway, this is a 17 meters by 6 meter project that holds 3 flats, flat roof and a facade. The flat roof is fairly all right. It's going to be recovered. Anyway, the main reason we're here is for the front facade. It's coming away. We specialise in that. Facade is the external of a building or a product or something at the outside face. But the reason we're here, taking down the front of a building is fairly intense and it requires quite a lot of planning and thinking and processes. We've done 2 or 3 of them already on this road. So we have flat 3, which is untouched. Everything you see is how we found it. The objective is to get this back to modern living, as it's been untouched for 20 plus years. This will become a kitchen, dining and living space. This wall here will come down. X marks the spot, so anything with an X is coming down or being pulled back to the stud work. As I say, this wall is going, so this will be a large living area. In each of the flats, they've all got a sea-facing wall. That sea-facing wall is coming down. There's various structural works involved in that, but at this stage we're not quite sure what that involves. This will become a snug. Again, front wall comes down. Beautiful views across the Margate Sands. And then we have up here layout remains, but with some small non-structural alterations. So a toilet will remain in there. The bathroom stays as is, although it becomes shorter. So the wall to my right comes to here. We create a much larger corridor on the stairway. You come through here, that door here gets blocked up. A new door here into the bathroom, and then we're into bedroom 1. The rear of the property overlooks Margate High Street. So bed 1, bed 2. Here's some of the works that have happened throughout the life cycle of the property. Originally, it wouldn't have had timber. It would have been masonry, like you can see here. And this masonry would have continued through. We think they've put the stud work in to allow for the window installation. Anyway, that stud work is not connected to the external skin. You can see here it has these ties, but they're not sufficient, hence why we've got the bulging of the brickwork. So all of this will come out, the windows will be stored, and then we will rebuild the front. And bedroom number 3.
And when do you think the breeze blocks were done?
I would say in the last 10 years. Yeah, the last 10 years. You can see on the external face, the render, there's different patches of render.
Good job or bad job, James?
Bad job.
Bad job.
Not a coast job. A communal staircase into flat 1 and flat 2. Flat 2, front door. A U-shaped kitchen, which will then overlook the Margate Sands.
I see you've got a kitchen in already.
Yes, Howden special.
Literally on every site kitchen, what should you have and what you shouldn't have?
Biscuits.
Biscuit. What's a must-have in a building project kitchen?
Biscuits. 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 Next question.
Tea, coffee?
Black coffee, ideally filtered, no sugar.
And what is Coast Project supplying for the lads in this particular build?
We've got an array of pot noodles.
Have you?
Yeah, bottled water, because who doesn't like a bottled water?
That's very considerate.
Coffee, it's a bit whack though. It's the Kenko stuff. And Yorkshire tea bags. And then first floor of flat number 2, bathroom, bedroom.
Are you keeping this wallpaper?
I think I might keep the wallpaper, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually quite pretty.
It's very on brand.
Coast colours as well. Bedroom 2, bedroom 3.
Fantastic view. That's a very, very prime view of Margate Seafront.
Yeah. It'd be nicer once the hoarding's down and the monoflex is gone. What Keith did find today is that this is a masonry, a blockwork wall. See the wobble?
Wow. That's safe.
Not too much.
Entrance door into flat 1. So as I say, all external walls are being stripped, and then there's a new staircase going in here. The window will be altered. Staircase, half landing, final flight up to the first floor. This staircase goes, and then we extend the joists to the rear wall, creating a U-shaped kitchen and living space. Here's a really good example of one of the main factors while we're doing this works. So the front of this building has bowed, and that's because various repairs, various alterations have taken place over its life cycle, which have turned out to be a little bit naff. That's a great example of why we're here. So we're really good at dealing with projects that have got faulty fronts. We've undertaken 3 on this main strip here. So when this was built originally, breeze blocks obviously weren't a thing. But over the years, there's been various repairs undertaken, and where they've installed the blockwork and then rendered it, the render's never been tight enough to the timber. So water ingress over years starts to damage the timber, which makes it weaker. Also, to install the blockwork, they'd have had to have broken the solid 9-inch wall that was there. through breaking that solid 9-inch wall to install that, you've then lost the integrity of that wall. So it essentially becomes two skins of masonry, which aren't tied together. Hence why you have the bulge.
Lovely.
They look so much better on the inside.
Yeah. That's the salty.
Jesus Christ.
Is this the problem about living on the coast? What does salt air do to
It requires so much maintenance, doesn't it? We have a project up the road which we completed in 2002, and we go there yearly to update or upgrade the main facade of it.
Really?
Yeah, it just takes a beating. The wind's excessive, the water's crazy. Yeah. They're actually worse than I thought it was, to be honest. It's because the internals still look okay. It's a pretty nifty idea. So usually we have like a one water entry, like, I don't know, in someone's kitchen. But we've actually put here the lower level and the floor above. We just thought it made more sense. We'll soon see if it actually works. It helps us, but I thought it was quite a good idea.
And an import bucket for every site. Yes. Your very own balcony, James.
So one of the key or biggest obstacles on this project is on obviously a seafront of a pretty busy seaside town. Limited parking, limited loading, and various shops below, which you need to maintain their operation, right? Otherwise you're going to have some pretty unhappy neighbours. So when we designed the scaffold, we said we needed to have a loading bay which will facilitate materials being craned up, obviously a toilet, but materials and waste. So we have a parking suspension coming in, which will give us 3 bays. That will allow for 2 skips and a vehicle, or 2 vehicles and a skip, depends what stage of the project you're at. The waste will come, here's a good example. So when we drop the front of this, we have different levels of scaffold. That will then have chutes connected to each floor of the scaffold. The chutes will come down. They'll be at this end of the scaffold. And then the chutes will then be positioned into the skips, making a far more effective demolition process.
Shout out to CLB Scaffolding.
Shout out to CLB Scaffolding.
Stairs to the flat.
One. So as I say, staircase comes out. New staircase is over where Tom is.
It's amazing how much of the outside world you can see through the brickwork.
Yeah, right under that window, for example.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I was saying. When you have holes like that, obviously you don't want holes in the front of your building.
No.
So water ingress is one, but then if you have rain and wind, you've then got driving rain. It's just not going to last. Hence,
What are you putting on to stop that?
so we have a modern render system, probably a silicon-based product. It's low maintenance. It comes pre-pigmented. You can have any colour you like within reason. And it's far more durable for, intense weather climates. You could go for like a lime-based product, but I just think you're going to be back. You're going to end up doing far more maintenance than you intend to.
It's about being sustainable.
I think there's a toss-up between being practical and sustainable. Sustainable's great, it's lovely. Who doesn't want nice, beautiful lime-rendered walls? But putting that on the front of a seafront, it just doesn't last. Be sympathetic to your conservation area, fine.
I like camera angle, but I like, that's funny. That's a sign off.
Good timing. Finally, we're here. 8-part series. We are going to document Marine Drive. Have an 8-part series coming for you. We're a construction company based. Just scratched my balls then. Out refurbished. I'm Barry Scott.
Go.